I made it to the directions hearings. This video, I'm just making this one after I've got back. This is just a summary of my observations and conclusions. Says the video that I took at the time that shows that I was at the courthouse today, and that's at the end of this video. So let's just get into it. I was wrong. It was not about the mental health report that I thought it was going to be to avoid it going to trial. So that's one thing. But what's important to note is when I looked at the court list on the 4th of April, the only the two trial dates, 23rd and the 24th, were put up. Now, they set the trial dates based on the information that the judge had, the briefs of evidence. So what's happened, and then on the 14th, I then looked, and then prior to those dates, it wasn't like they've added to it, they've actually put it prior to it, they've introduced these directions hearings. So what's happened is the application has been made to this Bellew after he has set the trial dates for this directions hearing. So, what's in this direction hearing and who did it come from? Okay, in this direction hearings, two motions were put forward by the prosecution, not the defence. And the prosecution had three people there today. The Tel Aviv guy was sitting at the back. He had two women with him today. There was a woman sitting behind them taking notes. She seemed to know them, but I wasn't 100% sure she was with them. And there was another guy that looked like he was from Tel Aviv. I haven't seen him before. He had the big nose. And he sat and he just didn't take any notes, but he had some documents with him and he just sat there. And it was quite a big contingent today. So this two motions. Now, the first motion was in regards to restricting media coverage of the trial. That's what it was about. Now, I had trouble. I only know that through the order at the end, as well as just listening to their conversation, because what they do is they read these motions before and then just refer to the clauses. And they'll say, do you agree with clause 3.9? Yes, I do. And they don't discuss the actual content of it. So as a member of the public gallery like myself, I didn't get to hear it. But what I did do is I listened to their conversations and extracted, well, hopefully an accurate assessment of what they were actually talking about. But the order at the end was pretty clear anyway. That first motion is in regards to what the media is going to give an order to the media about what they can report. So that's one aspect that they've got covered. Now, I'll go into a bit more detail on that in a minute. But the second motion was in regards to how the witnesses, this is the prosecution, were going to present their evidence. Okay. The affidavit came for the second motion from the Federal Police Chief Commissioner. What's the Commissioner of the Federal Police doing with such a small, low level, just a bit of a knifing? I mean, someone got killed by a knife the other day, and, it's just a routine. It was in the paper. Someone got stabbed. That was it. Happens all the time. Got killed. This guy didn't get killed. Basically, well, we all suspect and pretty well know that nothing actually happened. But they're pointing out that he just got a few injuries here and there. And I remember just all the bullshit that surrounded it at the time. Well, it's still an overreaction to it by this federal police. Why are they even getting involved? So this this motion put forward, now it was by confidential affidavit. And there's an interesting twist to that at the end, by the way. I'll get to that in a sec. It was put forward by this commissioner from the federal police. So it was, one was they wanted the witnesses to give their evidence collectively. Now, I didn't think there was 3 witness box chairs, so I don't know how that's going to work, or whether they're going to give their from a remote location all sitting all together, but that is just ridiculous. Now, the defence did not have any objection to this. They looked at the judges. Oh, yeah, that won't affect it. I'm in full agreement. Like, what? A load of shit. These witnesses are going to be given that. And what it does, and this is what Bellew said, and he's going along with this request from this commissioner of the federal police, is he wants to structure the questioning because he said that it can get a bit out of hand. Okay? So I think what he means is he's got this. See, he's set the trial dates thinking, okay, I'll call you a bluff, or I don't know exactly 100% sure what's going on in the guy's head, but they're not going into mental health. They need a conviction, so he's got the trial, and then this affidavit, confidential, that he cannot reveal in the court because it's confidential. It's his court, but he can't release all the details of it, but he can give see, the first one, they just discussed the clauses without discussing the content, but this one was confidential, so he couldn't even talk. The only reason I know what it is because he gave the order at the end, and he had a bit of a discussion with the defence team about, how they would, how they would be able to question the witnesses, and they're in full agreement with this bullshit, of course. Anyway, so what it's going to do, so what they're doing is because they can't lie under oath, they're still going to have to be under oath. But what they're going to do is, so they don't contradict each other, is this federal police commissioner has decided they're all going to be, like, I don't know why he's involved in it, I don't know why the federal prosecutors are in it. The New South Wales police can prosecute that legislation. So, so let's just get back to what it's all about, is so that the questions are going to be asked in such a way that they can get that they won't be lying under oath. That's how this is going to work. That's why they're going to restrict the questions that the defence supposedly should have asked, which comes back to the first motion of restricting the media's coverage. Because the media is going to look at this lackluster effort by the defence to defend this guy and go, well, we don't know what's going on. This doesn't look right. But they're not going to be able to report on that. That was the first motion. And this second motion is to make sure they don't lie under oath. Okay? So that's what this direction hearing was all about. Control the media and control the questions that these witnesses and how these witnesses, which is, we know who they are going to be presented in court. Because I don't even know why are they doing that? It's an open case, isn't it? Open to the public, open to the media. It's all been open on a current affair, big stories. Why all this closing up? Just keep it. Just put these guys in the witness box, and ask. I don't know, fucking Sevy. Oh, do you know who was that blue car that was parked there? I mean, they're really gonna see. They want a conviction. I think they were maybe talking about. Well, look, I thought they were going to go down to mental health to avoid the court thing at all because they've got their legislation in. But I think they want to also run a second psyop in the media. Let's just watch how they report on this because they weren't at the directions hearings. But I dare say the fact that they're going to alert the media that the media will be there. Again, this is a second part of their psyop, this big terror conviction, right? But I don't think they could get anyone at Parramatta on board. I reckon they canvassed them and they said, okay, well, let's get it to the Supreme Court under the mental health thing. Get it over to this Bellew guy. He'll play ball. And that's what this is about. So, all right, there you go. Okay, so let's just finish off. So it's going to trial and there's restrictions on the media and these witnesses are going to be protected from lying. That's basically what these this directions hearing was about, and the orders that Bellew made today. So just one thing, though, is that he gave the order in regards to the witnesses. He signed it. Now, it's a physical document, okay? And he signed it. I mean, I think there was 3 court helpers there today. I'm pretty sure they would have typed up every word that was said. There should be a transcript of it, but that's just a transcript. His signature on now he's only one, right? So what he does is he says to the prosecutor, he's in his robes and he had his wig on today, this guy. It was a bit of a big deal, this. I think he was showing the magistrate, this is, you better be playing ball here. We've turned up. You've got the federal police commissioner on your back. Here's how big this thing is. So he says, I've signed the order, here it is, and I'm putting it in this envelope together with the affidavit from the Federal Police Commissioner in response to it. So that's yours. He said, now, instead of getting a copy, he's got 3 helpers. Just run and get a copy. He gives it to the prosecutor and says, now this is his get out in case things go wrong, okay? This is so important. He says that, okay, I couldn't believe it as I'm watching this unfold. I couldn't say anything. I should have. Are you mad? Just get a copy, you idiot. So he gives it to the prosecutor. He says, now, I hope I have an undertaking from you that and there were some redacted minutes. So some minutes have been made about this case. Sorry, there's another part about this. Again, I had trouble. I took notes. I actually took a pen and paper and a notebook and wrote notes down. But yeah, with these clauses, I'm trying to read between the lines. So there was actually some redacted minutes that they were talking about in these clauses. But again, I don't know what they are. But he referred to these minutes when they're presented at the case. So they're going to be redacted, some of them. I don't know why. Remember previously I also said that this idiot Bellew said, oh, all of the stuff has been waterlogged and damaged. You have to resubmit everything. So what they've done is they've managed to take out all of the shit that a current affairs stuff that we've all seen. Where we go, well, hang on, you're missing all that info. Oh, we lost it all, so I got resubmitted. Here's the case. That's how they cleaned out a lot. And these two orders are there to make sure nothing comes to the surface, so they can package it up for their psyop story, which is going to come. So he says, and he puts it up with that confidential request affidavit and gives it to the guy. I've already said that, sorry. And then he says, and I'm undertaking that you'll present this at the trial date. Guy said, yeah, of course I will. What, really? It could be, oh, we had a waterlogged problem at our fucking office. Sorry, we lost it. Is there a copy? No. Are these guys fucking bad? So I'm getting a bit fucking, I'm shouting here, I'm getting a bit wildy. Anyway, so this whole thing, I'm so glad I made it today. I wouldn't have had a clue. Now, another thing, just to finish off here, this is the end, is Bellew says, oh, I'm really tied up with other things. I've spoken to the Chief Justice. We're going to have to delay, but I'm not sure when and where. So those trial dates, forget about them. This could be delayed for another 6 months or even 2 weeks or something. But he did say there was a problem with all those dates, even though he set them down. Oh, my God, you know. And he said specifically that I'm the only one that can hear this because of, continuity and all that. He's right there. And it's ridiculous for a judge to hear it and then have to get across it again to make a judgment. But they generally have the same trial judge and sentencing judge, and they keep for the same case. So that's all right. But he reckons that he's going to be so busy. So I don't know about these trial dates. I don't know when it's going to happen or how long it's going to take. But what I do know is that the media are going to be told what they can say, i.e. via the PSYOP, and they're going to protect the witnesses from lying in court, but still using them and getting a conviction. That's what this is about. All right, that's it.